This is a Stipple Wild instructional video, so if you don't have Stipple Wild, you're not going to be able to do this stuff. If you'd like to try it, just contact me via Instagram. All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about jitter and jitter map. Um, uh, a useless control that I've made, and now you have questions. Let's go. Let's go with the snake. Let's do the snake again. I'm gonna do this in paint mode. I think this effect, I don't know. It might be, it's kind of more useful. It kind of makes more sense in paint mode. All right, new drawing. Let's reposition this. Okay. So, now if we go to the brush and dot menu, we've got jitter. So, let's draw a little bit without jitter. Now let's put jitter on. Let's put it about 25%. Okay, so take a look at what it does. It just makes it just makes a mess. It just uh I'll get into the technical details because it's not that complicated. So when it drops the dot down, think of this as the mechanics of stipple goes. You're moving the pen, it's dropping a bunch of dots down, like 30, 60 dots per finger press event or whatever you want to call it. All right, so now these dots are hitting the map or are hitting the source image or hitting the, in this case, the color map. And wherever they hit, they soak up the color, and that's the resulting dot we have. So now there's an extra step where it's just jittering. It's just taking that dot after it samples the color and just randomly pushing it in a direction. And the amount of that depends on the jitter slider. So you'll find that, like, if you have the jitter all the way up, it just makes a mess. Okay, so why would you want this? I don't know. I thought it would be cool, and then it didn't really turn out to be as cool as I thought it was. But I left it in there because I don't know. I'm a hoarder. I'm starting to hoard controls in Stipple Wild. But anyway, watch this. So if I just keep turning down the jitter control, I go from having this mess to suddenly, oh, what's that? Oh, it's that. That's the snake eye. So that's pretty cool. Um, okay, so now here's the more confusing part. Let's go to the image menu, and you'll see that the recent changes I made. My image menu looks so weird. Controls are so hard to make. Uh, okay, so now I've got this jitter map. I like. Let's see if I have a gradient. Yeah, here we go. I like using gradients for this effect. It doesn't work that well on other things. So now, okay, say your jitter right here, your jitter value is at nothing, and you load something into the jitter map. It's going to look exactly the same. It's not going to look like it has an effect on it. Um, so if you turn jitter up, you still might find that it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Now, this is because, let's reposition this gradient. We need, basically, think of it similar to how the mask works, where it's like only certain only when the dot hits a value that is greater than what's on the what is on this, it's not going to get affected if it's less than that. So let's delete this. And right now, the dark part of the gradient, you can kind of see it in the source images, is right down here. So now if we pull this slider all the way to the left, it's going to apply this effect to basically almost the entire gray spectrum. So now watch this. It's things just get more and more jittered as we go down because that's what the gradient's doing. So it starts out pretty much clean and normal up at the top, and then as we go down, we get more and more jittered. Starts to look kind of like frosted glass or something. Um, let's see. I like to use this effect with a radial gradient. Oh, this one might be kind of cool. All right. So what I'll do is I'll make it so I'll line that up a little bit better. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna invert my jitter map. All right. So that means the most jitter effect is gonna be applied to the white, and then it's gonna be decreasing amounts of jitter as we get towards the black. And what I'll do is so the black itself, probably the last 10% of the scale is not gonna have the effect on it at all. So now what's gonna happen is this jitter effect. Let's see what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't plan this one out that well. Part of the problem with these Stipple Wild videos is that all of this interface and stuff is going to change. Um, I'm throwing this stuff out here so you guys can kind of tell me if any of these effects are useful. So I guess I do need to explain how to use them. So I guess these videos are kind of overdue. Anyway, you can kind of gradually, you can kind of see, well, you can definitely see this circle of distortion happening around the eye, like around here. Whereas then the pupil seems to be pretty crisp and normal. You might find that this effect is even more interesting if you lower the opacity because it'll kind of up on top of it, build up on top of itself, as opposed to when the dot color is at 100%. You'll find that the dots just completely eclipse each other. So this effect builds up in kind of an interesting way. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna keep jitter map. I was thinking of doing something else with that slot, uh, but oh, that's pretty cool. So let's see. How much time do we have? 8 minutes. Whatever. Stop watching if you're bored. I kind of like this. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Actually, let's give it a black. Oh, ooh. So now, if you were to go, if you were thinking this worked more like how a mask works, where a mask works very good with hard contrast, I think the jitter map works better with a more smooth, with less contrast. But let's try to get. Oh, let's use this one. So if we were to have just this hard black and white, so what this is gonna do is stuff that dots that hit in the white are going to be jittered. Dots that hit in the black are going to be non-jittered. So we'll probably see. Yeah, look at this. It almost looks like when when they put the sand or something on top of a subwoofer, and then they blast the sound waves or the sound through the sand, and then the sand takes on patterns. What are you thinking about that, Luda? Um, all right, I think I'm gonna stop here. I don't think the jitter's that great. It's just it kind of it allows you to do that effect that you see sometimes with just things disintegrating, like a disintegrating effect, like a two-dimensional particle effect. I use that reference a lot, and but I think that that's a good way to put it. So it's got potential, and it's even kind of interesting to use with the RGB stuff. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that. All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know.